The millionaire froze at the doorway, his hand still gripping the golden handle, his breath stuck in his throat, because, sitting inside his private bedroom, inside the room no one was ever allowed to enter, was the maid. But that was empty. The shocking part, what stunned him, what made his heartbeat thunder in his ears, was the mountain of cash he was counting. His money. Every drawer, every suitcase, every hidden spot was pulled open, emptied, and stacked on the table like she had been planning this for years. And she didn't even notice him. If you're watching this, stay with me till the end, because what the millionaire discovered next will change how you see people forever. Ethan Caldwell, one of the youngest millionaires in New York, had everything. Penthouse views, a booming tech company, and a reputation for being untouchable. But on Christmas Eve, while the city glowed with warm lights and families reunited, Ethan found himself alone again. He had buried himself in meetings, numbers, and deadlines, and the holidays only reminded him of what he lost years ago. His family, broken by tragedy. No matter how big his apartment was, it always felt cold. The only person who spoke to him regularly was Rosa, the quiet, respectful housemaid who had been working in his penthouse for 2 years. She never asked for anything, never complained, never even raised her voice. So when he walked into the penthouse earlier than usual that evening and saw his bedroom door slightly open, a place only he had access to, his stomach tightened. He stepped quietly, and then he saw it. Rosa was sitting at his private table, surrounded by stacks of money he hadn't touched in years-old emergency funds, business safes, cash bonuses. He had forgotten existed. All of it was now sorted, counted, and stacked. He felt betrayed. He felt furious. But when he finally spoke, his voice trembled not from anger, but from confusion. "Rosa, what are you doing?" Her fingers stiffened. The bills slipped from her hands. Slowly, she turned toward him, eyes wide, face pale, like someone caught in a crime she never meant to commit. "Mr. Caldwell, I can explain." But before she could continue, something unexpected happened. She broke into tears, silent, uncontrollable, heartbreaking. Ethan had seen people lie. He had seen people cheat, but her tears, they weren't the tears of a thief. They were the tears of someone drowning. He didn't yell. He didn't move. He just stared, waiting. Rosa wiped her cheeks and whispered, "I wasn't stealing it. I swear." He folded his arms. "Then tell me, why touch my private things?" What Rosa said next shattered him. "My little brother, is he dying? The hospital said he won't make it till Christmas morning without surgery. They need the payment before midnight, and I only opened your door because I couldn't find you. I was trying to collect your overdue salary so I could run to the hospital." Ethan blinked. His salary. Overdue. He had been so buried in business that he hadn't checked payroll in months. "How long? How long have you not been paid?" he asked, his voice shaking. "3 months, sir." The guilt hit him harder than any truth he'd ever faced. And then Rosa pulled something from her apron, a letter addressed to him. "I wasn't taking anything without telling you. I was writing a note saying I would pay it back every week. I ran out of time." Her voice broke again. Suddenly, the stacks of money didn't look like theft. They looked like desperation, like a sister fighting for a family on Christmas Eve. Ethan felt a cold weight sink inside him. He whispered, "Why didn't you ask me earlier?" Rosa looked up with eyes full of pain. "Because men like you don't listen to people like me." Silence filled the room. Ethan didn't say another word. He grabbed his coat, gathered every stack of cash on the table, and placed them into a black leather bag. "Where's the hospital?" he asked. Rosa froze. "Sir, we're wasting time. Let's go." They rushed out into the snowy night, the city glowing gold and red around them. For the first time in years, Ethan wasn't thinking about business or deadlines. He was thinking about a boy he had never met, and a woman who had been silently carrying her world's weight while working under his roof. When they arrived at the hospital, Rosa's younger brother lay weak, barely breathing. Doctors looked stressed, the clock ticking toward midnight. Ethan didn't ask for forms. He didn't ask for totals. He simply sighed, "Handle everything. He gets the surgery now." The doctor hesitated, then nodded. Rosa sank to her knees, crying not out of fear this time, but relief. Hours later, when the surgery was finished, the doctor walked toward them with a tired smile. "He's stable. He'll make it." Rosa covered her mouth, trembling, whispering prayers of gratitude. Ethan stood beside her, something warm blooming in his chest he hadn't felt since he was a kid. Hope. On the drive back, Rosa said quietly, "You didn't have to do all this." Ethan looked out the window at the falling snow. "I think I did. Not but because I forgot what Christmas was supposed to mean." She wiped a tear. He continued, "He reminded me." In the weeks that followed, Ethan didn't fire her. He promoted her. He put her in charge of household management, doubled her salary, and made sure her brother never had to worry about medical bills again. And on New Year's Eve, when fireworks lit up the sky, Ethan finally felt something he hadn't in a long time. Family. Because sometimes, life brings the right people into your home, not to serve you, but to save you. Something changed in Ethan after that night at the hospital. For the first time in years, he began waking up before sunrise not to check stock prices or sort through emails, but to sit by his window, cup of hot chocolate in hand, watching the world wake up. Snowflakes drifted gently over the city. Christmas lights blinked softly like a heartbeat. He felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Peace! All thanks to the maid he once ignored. The same maid he had found surrounded by money inside his bedroom that night. One afternoon, as he worked from home, he noticed Rosa entering his office with a small gift. She looked nervous, almost shy. "It's not expensive," she said softly, "but I wanted to thank you." Ethan opened the box slowly. Inside was a handmade snow globe with 2 figurines, man in a suit and a woman holding a small lantern, both standing under a streetlight on a snowy night. He looked at her. "This is beautiful." She smiled faintly. "It reminded me of that night when you helped my brother. It was dark for us, sir, but you were a light we never expected." Ethan swallowed hard. He had been praised for his wealth, his success, his brilliance. But this was the first compliment that actually meant something. "Rosa," he said gently, "you saved me too that night." She frowned in confusion. "How?" he replied. "Because I was living in a house full of everything, but feeling nothing. You showed me what really matters." A quiet moment settled between them, a moment of 2 people from different worlds, finally understanding each other. As New Year approached, Ethan asked Rosa if she and her brother had any plans. She laughed softly. "Just a simple dinner at home." Ethan nodded, then took a breath. "Would you both like to join me here instead?" Her eyes widened. "Sir, we couldn't," he interrupted softly. "It would mean a lot to me." And so, on New Year's Eve, the penthouse that once felt colder than its marble floors was filled with warmth, the smell of homemade food, the soft laughter of Rosa's brother, and the kind of joy money could never buy. They ate together. They talked together. They laughed together. When the countdown hit midnight, fireworks painted the sky, red, gold, and shimmering silver. Rosa's brother ran to the window, shouting with excitement. Rosa stood beside Ethan, watching the lights reflect across the room. She whispered, "Thank you for everything." Ethan glanced at her, smiling softly. "Thank you, Rosa, for showing me what family looks like." She didn't respond with words, only with a small, tearful smile, a smile that said more than any gratitude ever could. The millionaire had opened his bedroom door expecting to catch a thief. Instead, he found the truth, the pain of someone struggling silently, the heart of someone willing to fight for family, and the reminder that kindness can change lives in ways money never will. That night, Ethan learned the most priceless lesson of all. Sometimes the richest people are the ones who give even when they have nothing. And the loneliest hearts just need someone to knock on the door. If this story warmed your heart, please comment with your city. It helps our stories reach more people who might need a little hope today. And until next time, stay kind, stay grateful. Winter's chill had settled over the city, but inside Ethan's penthouse, something warm was beginning to bloom. He'd grown accustomed to the quiet rhythm of Rosa. As presence her light footsteps in the hall, the soft hum of a song while she cleaned the gentle way she'd check on her brother during hushed phone calls. It was also grounding, human. It felt real. One icy morning, Ethan woke earlier than usual. He found Rosa in the kitchen, not for herself, but with 2 mugs of hot chocolate steaming on the counter. When she saw him, she froze, a blush creeping up her cheeks.
Oh. I didn't know you'd be awake.
I made an extra cup, just in case you wanted one. Ethan smiled softly and took a seat. Thank you, Rosa. I'd love that. She handed him the warm mug, and for the first time, they weren't boss and employee. They were just 2 people, quietly sipping hot chocolate as delicate snowflakes tapped against the window. 2 separate worlds, finally sharing a moment in the same one. A few days later, a call came from the hospital. Rosa's brother, Matteo, had a follow-up appointment, and a guardian needed to be present. Rosa was at work, unaware. Without a second thought, Ethan grabbed his coat and rushed over. When he walked into the room, young Matteo looked up, his eyes wide. You came, sir. Ethan sat beside him. Of course I did. Matteo leaned in, his voice a whisper. Do you think my sister knows how strong she is? She works all day, takes care of me all night. Sometimes, she cries when she thinks I'm asleep. I just wish life was easier for her. The boy's words struck Ethan with a force no business deal ever had. This wasn't about profits or losses. This was about a family's survival. When Rosa finally arrived, breathless and anxious, she froze at the sight of Ethan holding her brother's hand. Sir, you didn't have to. He cut her off gently, his tone sincere. I wanted to. For the first time, she didn't argue. On the way home, they passed a small bakery. Matteo's eyes lit up at the sight of Christmas cookies still glistening in the display. Pick one, Ethan said warmly. Matteo shook his head. We can't afford. Ethan just smiled and looked at Rosa. Today, everything is on me. Rosa didn't stop him. For the first time, she allowed someone else to help carry her burden. One night, as a heavy snow blanketed the sleeping city, the lights in the penthouse flickered and died. A total blackout. Rosa gasped. Sir, the generator. Ethan calmly lit a few candles. It's okay. Matteo, wrapped in a blanket, just left. It feels like camping. They gathered in the living room, a strange but comforting trio. Ethan brought down a dusty box from the attic, filled with ornaments he hadn't touched in years. Christmas is over, Rosa whispered. It doesn't have to be, Ethan replied softly. Under the warm glow of candlelight, they began to decorate a small table tree. Rosa hung a tiny wooden angel. Ethan placed a star on top. Matteo clapped his hands, his pure joy echoing in the quiet room. In that moment, the penthouse wasn't a mansion. It was a home built not with money, but with shared moments of simple, unexpected connection. As they sat together, Ethan looked at Rosa. You know, when I opened my bedroom door that night, I thought I had caught you stealing. Rosa lowered her gaze. I know, sir, he continued, his voice gentle. But now, I realize I walked in on something else. Something I had forgotten existed, so looked up her eyes, questioning. What's that? A family fighting to survive, he said, and a woman with a heart stronger than anything I've ever seen. Tears welled in her eyes, not of sadness, but of finally, truly being seen. Before the snowstorm passed, Ethan spoke again. Rosa, I want to help. Not with just a few bills. Not with temporary fixes. I want you and Matteo to be safe. Permanently. She stiffened. Sir, I can't possibly accept. He held up a hand. Please, just let me finish. I'm offering to pay for all of Mateo's medical care. A new, safe apartment for you both. A stable future. Rosa was completely overwhelmed, shaking her head. Why? Why would you do all this for us? Ethan gave a genuine, human smile. Because opening that bedroom door, it saved me It showed me a life that money can never buy. Rosa covered her face, crying softly as Mateo wrapped his small arms around Ethan's neck. You're the best Christmas gift we ever had, the boy whispered, and as Ethan held him, Hereli said AD spent years searching for meaning, when all along it had walked right into his life, dressed in a maid's uniform. Sometimes, life surprises us in the strangest ways. A millionaire opened his bedroom door expecting betrayal and found a family. He found purpose. He found the spirit of Christmas all over again. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and comment with your city so I know where you're watching from. And remember, kindness is the one thing that never loses its value, not even in a world full of money. Thanks for watching.